Good morning, everybody. Happy Saturday. I haven't done a Saturday morning Q&A in a few weeks, so I thought I'd go ahead and punch one out for you this morning. Hope everybody had a great Friday night. I got a really cool photo from one of our subscribers. Ken Peterson sent this to me. He took it last night, and the storms were really violent and wet as they rolled up through the Northwest Valley. And this is all from the outskirts of that tropical depression off the coast. We were getting the outer bands. And as you know, the outer bands are what carry most of the rain. Completely missed us in the East Valley. We could see the lightning, but didn't hit us here. But man, I love that shot. Just what a great shot. Thanks for sending that, Ken. It's not easy to take lightning photos if you've ever tried it. You have to lower your aperture really small to not let a lot of light in. And then you set your camera to bulb and you have to hold your finger on the shutter and then wait for the lightning. As soon as lightning comes, take your finger off. So that's the way I did it. So what's going on in the Arizona real estate market right now? There's a little news coming out here that shows that we're getting a bunch of rentals out here. We've recorded 2,916 new rental listings last 28 days, up 60% from the same time last year. Now, that's encouraging for those of you that are looking for some rent relief, but don't adjust your budget yet because that's going to take some time. We're seeing a lot of new rentals going on out there right now, coming up, especially in single family homes that landlords are putting on the market, but I'm not seeing a lot of price reductions. What we are going to see immediately is a lid. So they can't get $500 more a month than they thought they could. So we're not going to see a huge jump going forward from what we can tell. If you have this much inventory coming on, just the mere fact that they put it on the MLS tells you that it's getting harder and harder to find renters, because you used to be able to just put it on Zillow and your phone would ring off the hook. Or you could put it on Craigslist. Now, if you are looking for rentals, I want to caution you about Craigslist. That's why if you see like open door listings on the MLS and they say not for sale, not for rent, and they put it on a watermark, the reason is scammers are going in, they're taking listing photos and making a Craigslist post out of it with unbelievably good rent prices. And you look at that and you call them and they say, well, I'm managing, I'm from out of state, send me a deposit. There went your money. And so that's a good way to lose money. So how do you do that? If you look at a house and you think it's legit, you want it, look up the tax records and see if it's the same name, the same person. But don't ever send money to someone you haven't met at the house, because those are scams. Watching some of the Vegas YouTubers, and canceled listings have gone for $400 to $1,400 a week. Supply is dropping. We're not seeing that much in the name of canceled listings here right now. In fact, that number's barely moved. We're seeing it in new construction, but they're reducing prices and offering incentives, and it's kind of stemming that. Assuming these will become rentals. Not all canceled listings become rentals. A lot of them, they just tried. I'm going to try and sell the house. I can't get the price and go. Now, keep in mind, Vegas swings. That pendulum on house prices swings much wilder than here. If the economy is going soft, people don't go to Vegas to party. And the shutdowns that we've had over the past couple of years have really hurt employment up there. And there's a lot of big places shutting down. Yes, never rent off of Craigslist. Sometimes you can find a good deal, but just do your research. We're seeing the Cromford Market Index has leveled out. It's gone down to the floor here. It's sitting at about 105, 106, and it's just flatlining. We touched on that a little bit yesterday. Days of inventory, you look at this chart, and it is spiked up and looks like it's absolutely going through the rails, but it's at 68.5. And I always like to put it in perspective. And let's go back to 2006. Days of inventory was 213. Got a comment here from my friend Sean. Thought about selling my rental in February. It makes good cash flow, but since the process have gone down, thought about riding out this interest rate hike. Thoughts? If you got good cash flow, I'd stay put. I mean, if you don't have to sell it, Um, February would have been great. You would have had probably the highest gains at that point. But if you're still got good cash flow, there's really no reason to get rid of it. You may be waiting a couple of years, if not longer, to see those kind of gains again. Because once we come down, it doesn't always spring back up. And as far as interest rates, I mean, they could not be more volatile. Right now, we're 5.97. We got up as high as about 6.4 earlier in the week. And so those are going to bounce around a little bit. This is an interesting one that I like to look at periodically, and it's closings over list price. And it's gone way down to like 17%. Remember, we were rocking at about 60% at one time. But I'll tell you what, the price point that you're not getting beat up on is between 300 and 400,000. People are very interested in that. The interest rates have gone up, but it's a slow price point. There's 22.8% of them are going above list price, and you can see here 256 of them have got an average of $5,000 over list. So if you do have a property that's between 300 and 400,000, those are not getting beat up like the 600 to 800,000 range. And we're not seeing that if you list something for 325, that people are going to come in and offer you 295. So they aren't underbidding you like they are in the higher end, like the open door homes, etc. So there's just still not a lot of inventory in that price range. I'll see if I can pull up just how much there is in that price range. But see active listings, medium term, and see what I can find out here. Bear with me while I dig through this. Let's go to that price range for just a moment. 300 to 400,000 right here. And what we see is we're above 2018 levels. We're way above 2020 and 2021 levels. So there's considerably more out there, but they are moving. So you have more choices. And also keep in mind, these are in the drive till you qualify areas as a rule too, like way out in the outskirts, Maricopa, Santan, Buckeye. So those areas are going to have more listings on there because they're also competing with all these new builds that are offering all these deals. That's the one thing that's curious about this market right now is interest rates have squeezed many buyers out of the market. Along come the new builds going, don't worry about the interest rates. We're going to offer you this wonderful buy down, and we're going to lower your rate down into fours. And but that buy down comes from somewhere. That's not free money. It's built into the price of the house. They get credits from the lender. Nothing's free. So, but it is helping people get into homes. They are giving massive design center credits if you're buying a new home. So there's a lot of that going on. Sean says, because of gas prices, you think that makes location more valuable? Yeah, I think it is. I know gas prices are going down now, but OPEC just clamped down again on production. I've seen more leases get denied in the United States for oil leases. And so I see more upward pressure as we go forward. Just my opinion. Heard from a friend working in a new builder that they will basically do anything not to have you back out closing costs, rate buy downs, upgrades. Yeah, I mean, if you're already under contract and you walk in and go, hey, I'm going to back out. Well, first of all, if you have a financing contingency, you can't really back out unless you can show that you can no longer get the loan. This is why these guys are asking you for a $20,000 earnest money. So backing out can cost you money unless you still have a financing contingency and you can show that you can't get the loan. But then what these guys do is they go, well, then use our loan. We can get you qualified, and they probably will. They don't want you marching towards the back door. They want to sell you that home. So be careful. If you back out, make sure, read your contract, make sure that you don't lose your earnest money. On the flip side of that, doesn't hurt to ask. I mean, you can go into a new build community and go, hey, I've been told you guys are offering all these big credits for the design center. You're giving people discounts on the home. That's why they really don't want to lower their base price, because you're going to hear about it and you're going to want your base price lowered. But design center credits seem to be easier to go, and you can just walk in and go, feeling on the edge here. I'm feeling like a third cousin. I'm not getting all the benefits of what you're offering people, so it's worth a shot. I can imagine there's a ton of that going on in Las Vegas. The areas that are seeing the most reductions in benefits when it comes to new builds are Maricopa and Buckeye, because they're way out in the outskirts. Not everybody that lives in Buckeye works in Phoenix. A lot of people in Maricopa, City of Maricopa, work in Chandler or work at Intel, so they don't mind that drive. But there's times where that road it's only a 2-lane road and it gets blocked off. There's an accident, you're an hour and a half late to work. It can be, you got to plan ahead if you're down. There's only 2 ways out of Maricopa, going up that 2-lane road and heading east and on, I can't remember the name of the road, but getting onto I-10, or going further up and merging up to Queen Creek Road and getting on the road. How will B of A home buyer program affect other home and loan outfits? That's a hard one to tell. They don't have that great of a market share unless the program's really good. But if it's really good, there's still a lot of loan, brokers, mortgage brokers that can find that same program somewhere else, maybe even through B of A if they're wholesaling some of these loans. So I don't think it's going to throw a lot of things out. 7 or 8% rates in the near future. Hard to tell. And this is why I say, they clearly want housing to slow down. They want the economy to slow down so that we can tamp down on inflation. We've already discovered that over 6 has had a dramatic impact on housing. So I don't know how much higher they need to go to tamp down that activity. Now, that's not to say that there's other factors that are going to show up that make rates go higher. But for now, we're just not seeing it. And you look at the markets right now, we're 5.97. The traders know that the Fed in a couple weeks are going to raise their overnight rate by 0.75. They know it. They've baked it into the cake. It's all built in. If they don't raise it by 0.75, I think the stock market will revolt because they want some improvements from inflation. The bond traders will go, wow, they went soft, and then they're going to pull their rates back. But the day they go 0.75, I don't think you're going to see rates change at all. 40-year mortgages, we're seeing some of those, but I don't like them. Some of the 40-year mortgages I've seen, they're like interest only for the first 10 years. So you're paying a low rate and you're not getting any equity reduction. So it's helping you with the payment, but it's not helping you pay down the loan. So if you're looking at a 40-year mortgage, make sure you see the devil in the details, because those can kind of come back to bite you. Yeah, I understand we want to chase the payment to a certain degree, but don't do silly things. And a 40-year mortgage can kind of get you in a little bit of, I don't want to say trouble, but you're going to be seeing your neighbors that said, hey, 10 years, I paid down my loan by $100,000. You're going, well, why didn't mine drop? So they can be rough. Back in the silly season, which is 2006, the mortgage rates had all kinds of adjustment periods in them. And a lot of them were interest rate only, or they were 1%. But the prevailing note was 7%. And people just ignored that. My realtor and my lender said that by the time this thing resets, I'll have $100,000 in equity and I can sell the house and walk away and everything's great. Well, when it reset, your $800 payment was now $1,700 a month. And you're like, oh no. And that happened to everybody at the same time. The mortgage-backed securities were pooled into these derivatives. Nobody knew where the money was. They sold them to these big financial institutions. They ended up seeing that they were owning loans that now weren't delivering because people were walking away and they couldn't sell them to anybody else. And the whole financial credit market collapsed. We don't have anything right now that's showing that we have an issue with the credit markets. We don't have bad loans out there. Less than 1% of Arizona homeowners are upside down on their mortgages. The devil is in the details. What's our tax code is north of 14,000 pages. Yeah, don't even get me started on taxes. Don't you wish we just had one form on taxes? My income times, I don't know, 16%. I hate doing taxes. Greed on both sides. I have those of you that have questions on water, you probably saw the last one I did. I just did that myself, asked some questions. But I interviewed a water expert, and he's an irrigation expert. And this guy knows the ins and outs of water, where we get it, how it's regulated, what the problem is, what we can do to fix it, how bad is it. And that video is going to play tomorrow. It's 44 minutes long. And I guarantee you, by the time you're done watching that video, whether you agree or disagree, you're going to know more about the Arizona water situation than you ever did. This guy was a fascinating person to talk to. And I want to thank one of my YouTube subscribers for introducing him to me. And he's very entertaining, very easy to listen to. But you're going to know more about Arizona, because right now you're just seeing headlines. It's going to be a dust bowl, 5 years, everything go well. Let's see what he has to say. Colorado River's drying up. We won't have any water. Well, is that our only source? And if there are more sources, where are we getting it from? And these are the questions that I ask. Why has Rio Verde been cut off on water from Scottsdale? He lays out very clearly why that happened and what they have to do to find a solution. How are we going to get water way out by Apache Junction when it's all desert right now? So those are the things I asked them. All markets primarily on emotions and fear of missing out, fear of missing bad decisions. Real estate has a lot of that. So does the stock market. But stock market also has a lot of technical trading to it. Real estate, when money got cheap and equity came in very fast, and you were making more and more on your house every month as far as equity building, people did have a fear of missing out. That doesn't mean they made a bad decision buying their home, because regardless of the equity, in the long term, so many people are sitting on an interest rate of 2.9%. And you're never going to feel bad about that. I mean, if I'm sitting in a house, I'm upside down by $50,000 and my interest rate's 2.9, I could give a rip because my payment's not going to go up. I just write it out, because I know that $50,000 negative equity is eventually going to wring itself out and I'll be fine. I know that because I've done it a few times. We have, with the way things are right now, is making a 20 to 30,000 under asking price lowballing. Depends on the price point. The short answer is no. But also, how many days has it been on the market? If it's been on the market 30 days, don't be shy. But nobody's ever going to accept your lowball offer. And 20 to 30K is not lowball now, over $400,000. But it is lowball if they've only been on the market a few days. I mean, think about it. If you list your house and the first offer comes in is 30 below, you're going to say, I'm going to wait and see what else comes in. After 30 days, your mindset changes. You're about to have a price reduction anyway. And so that's when you can swoop in and go, hey, I've got this for you. Michael, I wish I had data for the Tucson market. I don't. I get most of my data from a paid subscription with the Cromford market, and it just focuses primarily on the East Valley. If you want to see some Tucson data, I recommend going to redfin.com, and they've got some. Thanks for the insight. Time to given to use. On a personal note, have you ever visited Rocky Point? I'd like to visit that area. I've been to Rocky Point several times. I have a friend that lives down there. I know several people that own properties down there, right on the beach. For me, it's been safe. I love the beaches. I took my RV down there and spent 5 days on the water. Just absolutely love it. The food's phenomenal. The downtown market. If you like shrimp, it's nirvana down there when it comes to shrimp. The one thing I will caution you on is when there's a speed limit that's posted in kilometers, let's say it's 20 kilometers, don't go 21. It's 20. Pay attention to that, because they will pull you over. And in Mexico, you pay them directly. And that's been a long-standing tradition down there, that you just pull out $40 and you give them $40 because they say that they're saving you a trip to City Hall to pay the ticket, when in reality, we all know it's going in their pocket. Don't carry a lot of money in your wallet. If you got a lot of money in your wallet, take some, put it somewhere else so that when you do get pulled over, you can open up your wallet and show them that you've only got $40. You open it up, it's got 100. Your fine is now $100. A little crooked down there, but at the same time, really nice people, and it is fun. So I recommend, if you haven't been there, take a trip. A lot of people go down in October during fall break, take the kids down there. You can rent quads, you can go parasailing, you name it. There's a lot of entertainment down there. The cartel, I think the cartel goes there to vacation, but they don't want to interrupt. There's actually a lot of protection going on down there because they need our tourism. And there's some great condos down there, amazing pools and beaches. So enough about Rocky Point. Go down and try it. Take it out. Check it out. Surges of no inspection as is home purchase down the pandemic. I think some of these buyers will start getting nervous with reduced equity on whole problems, fixes now surfacing. You know, I'm sure there's a smidge of people out there that said, oh man, I wish I'd have known this was broken. Waiving inspections, never a good idea. But when they were trying to compete and you've got 30 people putting in bids, I guess I can understand why they did it. As is homes. You know, even when you get it inspected and you uncover some big things and then you fix it, there's always something that comes along down the road. But that just wasn't a good move. So I think the percentage of people that are regretting it, it's probably small in my guess, my estimate. My brother finally called their bluff about going to City Hall. He lost, but emptied his pocket of almost all his cash on the way there. And I was rich for a few minutes. $40. That's all you put in your wallet. You open it up. That's all you got. Say, I'm planning on buying everything with my credit card. Oh, another tip, call your bank. Say, I'm going to be in Mexico from Friday at 5 p.m. till Sunday at 6 p.m. Do not authorize any charges from Mexico after Sunday at 6 p.m. I do not expect to make any purchase over X dollar amount, like $150. I used to travel international a lot. And so if I went to Mexico City on a business trip, I always called my bank, said, hey, I'm going to be in Mexico City. I'm arriving at this time. I'm leaving at this time. My maximum purchase is probably going to be $150. Set it to where nothing is authorized after I leave at 3 p.m. on Thursday. And they would. But you got to be on top of the time change too, because I tried using my card in a gift shop and I was denied. I go, oh crap, I was 2 hours off on the time change. So just a little helpful financial tip there for you if you are thinking of going to Mexico. So fabulous advice, very interesting. See what American citizens are able to buy a condo. Those prices jacked up, man. They went pretty well. I saw them for like $99,000. You could get a one bedroom down there. They have gone way up. So watch them carefully and see if they come down. There are a lot of people from the United States that have their own brokerages down there and sell Rocky Point properties. You'll see it everywhere when you're down there. And you hold the title, especially on the homes, and the homes on the beaches are, some of them had some friends down there. Man, theirs was nice. I loved going down and visiting them. They're like a big palace. So, but those days are kind of gone. They're not quite the bargain that they used to be. So I hope everybody takes on the day and has a fabulous weekend. I don't think we're going to get any more storms tonight. But I kind of hope we do. I love watching the lightning. Take care and have a great Saturday.